Just talking about the future, but building it face to face. We don't equal permission. We don't grow alone. Every conversation matters. Every seed we sown. This is elevate your growth, where the vision gets louder, but we rise together, and the move makes you stronger. Pull up the seed you belong.
Hello, everybody. Welcome into Growth Access. Today, our lesson is going to be turning conversations into conversions. So what I'm going to do is take a second, make sure that we are live streaming, getting it where we need to go. Very good. Welcome in. Make sure I can tag everybody so they will not miss out on this incredible conversation, because my goodness, this is for the people that were exactly like me, where there was a point in time where I did not like sales at all. I thought it was sleazy. I thought I was coming off pushy. I would get like sweaty and anxious and weird and awkward on calls and in person when dealing with sales, until I realized that sales is not sleazy at all. It really gets a bad rap. Really, sales is service. Because all that's happening is you're standing in the gap between where somebody currently is and you're offering a solution, a service, a product, something to help that person get to the other side, get closer to what it is that they want to do and how they want to live their life, what they want to possess, what's going to make them happy, what's going to capture a moment, what's going to bring them joy, right? So when you come in, drop hello in the chat so I can make sure to say hello to you, make sure that I can see you, see that you're here, and let's go ahead and get it started. Because who among us do not want to be able to sell with confidence and clarity? Okay. So we have to remove the fallacy behind the best product conundrum, right? Basically, it's stating that if you have the best product, that does not naturally mean that you are going to have a sale as a result of having that product. What it means is you possess the best product. But what actually converts, what actually gets people to buy from you, okay, it's when they trust you. It's when, hey, Malika, get in the room. It's when they understand your value, okay? It's when they believe you understand them. That's what helps get people closer. That's what helps you allow the person to live out the dream that they're called to live, is when they know you understand their pain. And when they feel confident that you are the right decision for them to make. We have to keep that front of mind, because a lot of us are so product driven and we talk about all the products and the perks and all the things, but we don't realize that really that person, they are buying you. Okay, they are buying you. Look at the dreams you drop. Every Thursday, girl. Every Thursday, 6:30 Eastern Standard Time. Let's go. So that's the first thing. We want to remove that. We want to shift the paradigm. And we want to understand that sales, okay, that's the natural outcome of leadership. If you are showing up, if you are adding value, if you are letting your customer base understand and know that you're there for them, that you truly understand what it is that they're going through, and that you can help them solve that problem. That's leadership. That's helping them. That's showing up in servitude and serving as a solution in somebody else's life. So move away from this thought that sales is sleazy and it's pushy and it's this and that. Sales is servitude. Okay? And you have to go into these conversations knowing that there's a destination. Hey, Linda, welcome in. We're talking about converting sales today. Knowing that there's a destination at the end of your conversation. Going in with a clear state of mind that there's an intention. There's something that you want to convey. There's something that you want to be clear on, okay? Because without intention, the conversations, they rarely actually become intentions. And this is any type of conversation in life. You have to go into networking events with intention of what it is that you're interested in adding value in that room. Hey, Nancy, welcome in. You're going in to add value. You're going in to make connections. You're going in because you want to come out better than when you initially entered the conversation. So be clear on the intention behind why you are going into this conversation for yourself. Okay? And we have to understand that before the conversion comes, before you close the sale, before you get to your end result, there has to be a connection point. And really, you want to make sure, hey, Belkis, welcome in. You want to make sure that you are assessing your client base, and the conversation is actually about whether y'all are a good fit for each other. Where it gets kind of sleazy and slimy is when you're trying to persuade, when you're trying to convince, when you really can't help that person, but you just want their money. That's when we're getting into a gray area. If there's actually no connection and you continue to push the agenda, you will continue to move the conversation forward, that's where sales kind of gets its bad rap. But if you have a conversation, you go in with an intention, and you understand that you can really honestly help that person, you can serve that person, and then there's a connection facilitated, then the conversions are going to be so easy, in congruence with the positioning that we talked about last week, where your positioning and your authority position in the market is already serving as your authority piece and your credibility. Belka says, yes, no more trying to convince on the call. We're not convincing anybody of anything. We want our marketing, we want our clarity of our messaging to be clear so that we are attracting the people that already know they want what we have. Making sure that we're positioning ourselves with authority, and everybody online knows what it is that we do. Malika said it's all about having solutions to people's problems. That's right. And we have to make sure people understand the problems that we're solving, understanding where we stand in the gap of those people's issues and how we can actually serve them. So I want you to ask yourself a question, okay? What outcome am I leading this conversation towards? Go in with clarity and focus of what the conversation is for. What outcome am I leading this conversation towards? And in the call, in the assessment, you'll understand, after talking, after connecting, you'll understand if that person is actually a good fit for your offer, a good fit to be your client. You'll understand it in the conversation. But go in with an intention. Okay? Drop some hearts in the chat. Thank you, Malika, for the hearts. Drop some hearts in the chat if this makes sense, if you agree. If you disagree, write it in the chat. So, okay, here's why deals stall. People think that deals stall because of price. Deals stall because people are hesitant because there's a lack of clarity, trust, urgency, confidence, and perceived value. Hey, Lori, welcome in. Hear me again. Do not think that it is about price all the time. Yes, sometimes people just can't afford the thing. But most of the time, if people are ready to invest in themselves, they'll find the money. They'll put it on their credit card. They'll borrow it from somebody. If people want to do something, they'll do it. If somebody wants to go on a cruise and don't have any money, they're going to find a way because they want to do it. And because there is trust and clarity and urgency and confidence and perceived value in what they're investing in. Belka said, that was me. I had so much hesitation. Yeah, there's hesitation because there is, if you're a buyer, when just put yourself in, just take yourself out of the equation for a second of us being the salespeople, right? And whenever there's a situation, even if it's down to a restaurant, and you go and you're seeing bad reviews and you're seeing pictures that aren't that beautiful and the aesthetics are not a vibe, you're like, ugh, I don't know. I don't know if I want to go in this, but you are hesitant. There's hesitation. But if you're like, let's get crazy, let's go, and the food is bomb, now you have clarity. Now you trust them. Now you're confident that you're going to have a good meal. The perceived value is evident, right? So it is our job to understand our client base and make sure that we are trumping all these hesitations and we're making them comfortable, because people rarely say no because of price. They do sometimes, but rarely. Okay? So with everything that's going on in the world, with all the things that's happened, okay, here's the role of the modern advisor. That's you, the person making the sale, the person creating the solution. Okay. There is so many moving parts. There's so much noise. There's so much AI. There's so much news coming at us. There is all this chaos. There's all this uncertainty. It is our job to create certainty in the minds of our client base. Again, it is our job to create certainty in the minds of our client base. That's our jobs. And the best way to do that is, yes, to get in front of it with our content. So our content is doing a lot of the heavy lifting. So by the time we get to the call, it's really about next steps. You're taking them through the ascension path where they go from curiosity into knowing and confidence and conversion. It's a path, it's a process. But people have to be confident that you can actually solve their problem. And confidence is communicated before words. This is contagious confidence. This is how you convey confidence, no matter what industry you are in. Content does all the heavy lifting. Yes, it does, Belkis. But we had to also show up in the room with that same level of heavy lifting, that same authority, knowing what it is that we do and being able to convey it with certainty too. So this is contagious confidence here. It is conveyed in your certainty. It is conveyed in your posture. It's conveyed in your preparation. It is conveyed in the fact that you believe in your product and you know it will be a solution. I know Elevate Your Growth is changing people's lives. I've watched it happen. I hear the feedback. I get the text messages. I get the DMs. I understand how we're changing people's lives. So I have no problem hopping on the phone with somebody and saying, this is what you get in our membership. This is what you get when you step into the inner circle. Because I don't have to convince anybody of anything. I'm confident that we're changing lives. I know we're the solution. And then your energy when you are conveying to people what it is that you do. If you are drab and you are unsure and your posture is, you're in on yourself, all of these things, all of these are all forms of communication. Even if your words are confident, but your posture is not aligned with that confidence, that's going to create uncertainty. If you are articulating and you know what it is that you do and you are confident, but your preparation is off, you're kind of scattered, you're all over the place. If all these things are in alignment, that is going to create uncertainty in your buyer's mind, and you will not be able to help, empower, change that person's life, tap into them, sow into them. You won't be able to do it. Everything's got to be aligned. So a lot of the work that we do before we even get to serving other people is we got to do that work within ourselves. We got to make sure that we are being accountable for how we're showing up today so that we can be better for tomorrow. So if you think the way that you walk into a room and your posture and your energy does not affect if you close clients or not, my friend, you are incorrect in that. Everything matters. People are always assessing. They are always asking themselves, is this something that I want to do? Do I trust this person? Do I trust the outcome that this person is saying it's going to give me? They are assessing everything. Okay? So understand, really, a part of business ownership, a part of professionalism, a part of being in leadership is assessing ourselves and looking at the ways that we need to be better. and understanding that selling is serving, my friends. Selling is serving. The best professionals out there, they're not chasing anything. They understand that what it is that they have is what it is that you're looking for. And they're confident in that. And either you will realize it or maybe you're not their person. And that's okay. Everybody's not going to be for us. Understand that's okay too. It's not our job to serve every single person. We wouldn't be able to even if we had the bandwidth, which we don't. Selling is leadership in action. Okay? And first, our job is to do what? It starts at the top of this circle. We have to listen. I see this a lot of times in sales and sales calls and sales representatives. They go right into talking. They go right in with trying to convince, telling you all the perks, telling you all the things. We have to start by listening. We have to start by asking the people that we're interested in serving, asking them questions to make sure we fully understand what it is that they're looking for, how we can best help them. People do business with people they know, like, and trust. Isn't that the EYG way? Know, like, and trust, 100%. People do business with people they know, like, and trust. And when you have the opportunity to help somebody, we have to start by listening. We have to understand what needs they have that we can actually meet. And then you take them and you educate. After you ask them questions, you educate them on what it is that you have to offer, how you can serve them, what they get as a result of partnering with you, of investing in you. You educate them on what that looks like, and then you allow them to understand how you will solve their problems. After you let them know how you solve their problems, you have to be intentional about building relationships. Hear me again, you guys. Building relationships is the number one asset to your company growth, to your expansion, to streamlining the process so that you can get to your freedom. Because none of us want more clients just to have more. We don't want more just to have more. We are all working towards the end goal. We're working towards the end goal of having freedom of choice, to work if we want to not work if we don't want to go to the beach, to go to the Himalayas, to go out on the ocean, to go on our boat, to do what it is that we want to do when we want to do it. And the way that you do that is by building relationships. And building relationship with the people that you're interested in serving. Rarely, especially in this day and age, the consumer market is rarely buying things from people that they don't, like Malika said, know, like, or trust. If you don't like a company, you're not going to do business with them. If you don't like an individual, it doesn't matter how qualified they are. You're not going to do business with them. If you don't like them because you feel like it's something off about them, I don't know what it is, but I don't trust them. You're not going to swipe your card and send them $10,000 of your money if you don't trust them. It's in building the relationships that you create these opportunities. And when you create the opportunities, you have to capitalize on them by coming right back around and making sure that you are listening. So it is a full circle moment that continues to go round and around. You have to understand what it is that we're doing here. Okay? So here's the foundation. Here's the architectural structure of conversion. Now, it is successful conversions. That means closed clients. That means deals. That means opportunities. That means getting closer to your end result of having freedom of choice to live your days and your months and your years in the way that you want to. They are built on the foundation of curiosity, asking the questions, listening, not trying to convince, not trying to sell right off the bat, trying to tell about all the perks, all the things, right? Your credibility. With your credibility, how did your credibility come about? That comes about from your social media presence, making sure everything on all the platforms is cohesive, making sure that you have your testimonials visible, making sure that you're getting your reviews on Google. Okay, these are all the ways you build credibility. Having clarity of your offer, make it as simple as possible. Break it down in 3 steps if you need to. With EYG, you get to visit up to twice. You visit as a visitor, get in the building up to 2 times. You pay, you visit twice, you decide if you're going to be a member, we onboard you. 1, 2, 3. We welcome you into the inner circle where you don't have to pay every single time you want to do something. You just pay your monthly, you invest in your monthly. And then you get into the inner circle where you're constantly, not just once or twice a month, whenever we have our social events, and make it public somewhat, because we do not publicize where, when, how, all that, because they're curated to make sure the room is powerful. Okay. You get into the room. You decide if that space is for you. You decide if you want to continue to utilize the opportunities beyond that one touch point, and then you invest moving forward. We make it simple. Make your process simple. Make your framework simple. Make how you serve simple. One mistake that I made is I thought, well, the more complicated it sounds and the bigger words that I use and all these fallacies, all these falsehoods that I thought that was going to position me like an expert and make me sound smart and all these things, it is the total opposite of the reality, which is people love simple. I don't care if you're doing $2 a year or $50 million a year, you want simple. So stop thinking that the more complicated something comes across, that it positions you as an expert because it's complicated. People want clarity. And if you're missing it, it's going to hinder your conversions. And then the confidence piece. We talked about the confidence. Confidence in what you're saying. Confidence in your posture. Confidence in your product. Confidence in your outcomes. That is what makes people comfortable to invest in you, to invest with you. And guess what? If these are the foundations, if these are the pillars, if this is what helps people get to a buying decision, if one of those things are off, guess what? The whole system is fractured. And people are going to be undecided, indecisive. They're not going to be confident. Belka said, I did the same thing. No more complicated words. Corporate jargon is what I call it. Right. And that's such a great word. That's such a great term. It's so true. Corporate jargon. Words that maybe internal, a handful of people understand, but in terms of the masses, in terms of the ideal client, even sometimes your ideal client that may be C-suite or upper level management, they don't want to hear all that corporate jargon. They just want jargon. They just want to know how you can help them. It's such a great point, Belkis. But we want to make sure that no part of our architecture is dwindling. No part of our foundation is creating friction in the buyer's mind, and then they're getting hesitant, and now you've lost the sale. Okay, so here's the illusion, and I want you to remember this. The illusion is that people buy products, people buy things. They buy vacations, they buy products, they buy food, whatever the case. That's the illusion. But the reality is people buy outcomes. This is what people are actually buying. They're buying relief. Relief that they don't have to do it on their own anymore. That's why people buy my book, The Entrepreneur's Checklist, because they got tired, just like me, why I wrote the book. They got tired of trying to figure out how they were going to start their business and build their brand. And just like me, I wrote the book because I was looking everywhere for a book that would just tell me what to do without it being 300 pages of somebody's life story before you get to telling me how to build a business. I was like, man, I wish it's just one place and just tell me what I need to do in sequential order. Tell me what paperwork I need to take to the bank. Tell me what order this needs to go in so I don't have to go to the SBA and over here and Google this and do yah. And after I figured it out, after doing all of that and collecting all this information from all over the place and going to the bank 3 and 4 times because I didn't have everything I needed, after I figured it out, I did just that. I wrote a book. I published a book in 2021 called The Entrepreneur's Checklist. You can find it on Amazon if you want to, if you're in the startup stages of your business. But it had a purpose. It was to create relief so that people wouldn't have to go through the strain that I was going through and just trying to launch a business. That's why I created Elevate Your Growth, because I was tired of getting in rooms that were boring and dull, and people were rude, people were mean, people were posturing, people were like super duper professional so much that it was kind of off-putting. It was kind of stoic. I was like, my God, there's got to be a better way to do business. There's got to be a better way to build relationships. I don't want to be excited and nervous and doing all the things on the way to the event and then get there and people are mean. Oh my goodness. No, thank you. So I created the space. And we've grown exponentially because I wasn't the only one that had that problem. I wasn't the only one feeling that way in the market. That's why we've got almost 3,000 members here, because there is a space. We need this space. People buy outcomes. They're buying opportunity. They're buying time freedom. They don't have the time to write the book. They don't have the time to do the copy. They don't have the time to design the cover, but they know they want to be published, so they outsource to people like Malika, who can help them publish their book. They don't have the time to deal with all the back of the house things about marketing and figure out keywords and SEO and market position and authority position and content calendars and all the things. So they contact Belkis. Where people are looking for outcomes. They want a peace of mind. They want confidence that the thing that they know that needs to get done will get done. It will happen because they've outsourced it to somebody that they trust, somebody that they have confidence in. So stop thinking that it's about the thing, that it's about the product, that it's about the actual thing that you are exchanging in the sale. It's about what it gets them to. It's about the destination. It's about the result of what having that thing does. Belka said, yes, we need this space. Thank you for creating it. Thank you for being a part of it. Thank you for saying that, Belka. And thank you guys for being here. The people that are watching this on the live, the people that have invested and are watching the training on Growth Access after it's in the vault. Thank you for investing in yourself. And thank you for being here. Because this community is incredible because of you guys. Because y'all are nice, because y'all are kind, because you invest in yourself, because you take time to step away from Netflix, to step away from doom scrolling, and to watch things like this to empower yourself to strengthen our economic development. This is because of y'all. Lori said, be authentic. That's right. So remember this, always lead with transformations, not transactions. That is how we serve people. That is how we turn conversations into conversions. Is we listen, we evaluate if we are actually able to serve our potential client with excellence. That's a big one. Can you serve this person with excellence? Because sometimes you may be wanted to take on additional work. They may want you to do it. But if you know that you cannot do that, show up in your excellence and serve that person correctly because you don't have the bandwidth or the time or the resources, whatever the case may be, make sure you respectfully decline so that you don't come up short and disappoint yourself and disappoint your client, making it only about the transaction, making it only about the money, and you forget that you're not actually able to offer them the transformation. So remember, that is the golden rule of high-level sales. Always lead with transformation, not transaction. Okay? I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. This replay is available to you guys for 48 hours until it's put into our Growth Access Vault that includes all of our trainings. You can access it anytime you want to. Start at training 1. See all of our bonus interviews with people like David Meltzer. If you're interested in that, it's only $9 a month, you guys, to tap into that. And you get access to it. Go at your own pace. Get all of these trainings. But right now, I'm hopping off. I'm getting into the private group. If you want access, if you want the link to just sign up for $9 a month, just comment GROW down below and I'll send you the link. It's not like our membership that requires an application. This doesn't require application. You can literally activate your membership today and start going through the training modules today. It's not a process like our curated rooms in the membership that we're a little bit more intentional about industry and personality and all these various things to make sure that our room remains as impactful as it is. Okay? I love you guys. I got to hop off and go teach in Leadership Lab. Y'all be blessed. Bye.